this video I have got something quite nice. This is a Denon Precision Audio Components Stereo Cassette Tape Deck Drm-600. Name couldn't be any longer than that, but anyways, it's got a built-in audio chip, a Dolby chip, and yeah, I don't really know what that does, just so it sounds better maybe. And yeah, it's got two motors and a dual power supply. No idea what they mean with that, but yeah, this device has been used a lot, and there's one problem with it. If I open it up, which still actually works, and take a tape and put it in there, a cassette tape, and press play, this thing runs way too fast. If I leave that in there for 5 minutes, the entire tape will have run over from here to there, and that is exactly what would not happen. Also, I'm not getting any audio from here, meaning that the heads in there, you probably can see that, are making contact with the tape. So what I believe is that, also funny thing, if I press the forward button, it's almost the same speed. There's no real difference in it. A little bit, but yeah. So what I think is that the mechanism that pushes up under, or that the second motor, that one of the rubber bands in there has gone bad and just ripped off and somewhere loose in there, and you need to replace that. That is what the problem is with these old cassette decks. Well, maybe it's the problem of all cassette tape players. Yeah, we're gonna remove the screws, and also you can find the service manual for this one here online, which is quite good. And my first guess when I read that, the guy said, well, the device runs too fast. Now fixing that is not a problem. I mean, there are a lot of trim pots in here, and you just adjust them until the voice or whatever you're putting in there runs at the correct speed like you want it. But yeah, this seems to be something different. Here's the mechanism for the cassette tape, here's the first motor, and down there is the second one. My guess really is that it's somewhere here in here, this part, and that there is something not working correctly. So what I will try to do is take this front plate off, and we'll have a better look in that. Well, also you can see that is if I press play on here, you can see that the VU meter is not going up and down. Only time it does that is on startup, but yeah, that just happens when it turns on the chips. So I'll take that thing apart and see you in a second. Okay, well, I have to give a big thumbs up to Denon. This is the best constructed tape deck which I have ever actually seen. The cover pops off by removing just some screws. Then you have two separate parts in it actually. You have the display assembly and also the volume control for the input. Here are all the other things like bass, treble, and so on. And you can remove the entire tape assembly directly from it just by disconnecting it from some cables in here. That is pretty good. Now, this is the tape assembly. Looks all pretty nice still. First of all, I actually thought that this gear down here is looks as if there are some things missing on it, but no, they are not missing. Up here is a well, small. It's not really small, but yeah, there's a relay, and when that triggers, this thing will rotate, and that pushes up the heads for the cassette, like so. If I turn it even further, they will go down again. It's pretty interesting, and then this thing doesn't move. Do it once more, trigger the relay, make this thing run, and it seems to be okay. Now what I will try to do is to get access to the second motor, because that doesn't, maybe one of these rubber bands has ripped off on it. I'll just check that. Nope, everything seems to be okay in here. So we have this little motor that just interlocks there with all the gears and all that. Well, I mean, forward and backward rewinding worked just fine. So I believe it's just the relay which didn't work. I mean, it probably didn't work because this is also pretty great, just pops out like so. And yeah, probably the relay because when I tried to move it, it was stuck. I'm gonna go and put some oil on that. A little bit dusty in here. Let's see if that changes anything. Got some universal oil, and that will probably do the job on that. Also a good thing this oil is not conductive. Let's see if I can do all that with one hand. Oops. That runs a lot more fluent. This raw wire. This rubber band seems to be in a okay condition. So time to wire everything back up again. I really like that the things for the tape heads are on the bottom, but yeah, doesn't matter. It's okay. My only complaint on this entire device would be the cable management, because that looks a bit messy in here. Does it fit? Okay. So everything is back in place. I mean, look at this. This is just a bit of a mess. Could have done that a bit cleaner. I mean, my Denon stereo is a lot cleaner than that, but yeah, this device is about 20 years old, so I'll say that's acceptable. So I'll turn on the power again. Now I'm doing something which is a bit dangerous, operating this is the entire thing opened. I still haven't replaced this metal shield. I'm going to do that later, because I just want to see if the mechanism works. Do I need a tape for that? There we go, fixed it. Just need a little bit of oil and everything was okay. It's okay now. Now what I'm going to do is, now I'm not going to hook this thing up to my stereo, so right now I just test the headphone output. Yeah, this is just an adapter, because I mean these are these huge old plugs. Got my headphones here. Plug them in. And we have audio. That works. So this was a success repair, and everything seems to be fine. I'll test the recording capabilities of this thing later, but so far so good. There's me, and yeah, now I have to go through all the fun and assemble this thing again. There we go, and that wheel starts to spin. Let's stop. They go back down. If I hit rewind, that happens, and if I hit forward, this happens. Play again, heads rise up, stop and they go down. So everything works now. So there we go, that was a complete success. Everything seems to be working now, just because of a corroded relay. Well, it wasn't really corroded, maybe it just got a bit dirty and stuck. But yeah. Still missing the top cover, which I've got here. Put that on there. Like so. Still missing the screws. It's not easy to do that with one hand. Number one. And number two. And even recording works. Just feeding a song through my iPad. Going to the back of the system. And red light means everything works. I'm listening to it through here. So that all works just fine. Even the volume control here. Okay, so there's one last thing which I believe is necessary to do. So I've got a Q-tip here and some alcohol. What I'm going to do is, yes, I will clean the heads and the rest of the stuff in here. So just spray some alcohol on there. Let that soak in there a bit. In this case, it's better if we power the thing down. And well, there are two heads. This one and the one next to it. This one is, well, just remote is for deleting. This is the read and write head. And yeah, and basically how you clean it is just to take your Q-tip and move it in a straight line from one side to the other. Basically, it's very easy. You can't do anything wrong with that. And then, of course, go over to the other head and do the exact same thing. As you can see, there's the Q-tip. You can see that it's a bit dirty. But those heads look a lot better now. One last thing is this thing which is necessary for the tape. I'll just turn everything back on. Because now I have to get to trick the thing into thinking it's still tape inserted. Let's see if I can grab that. And now I can get my Q-tip in there and let this thing clean itself. There we go. One more time. Just going to get that out there. That looks nice and clean. Of course, this is also another way on how you can demagnetize those heads, but I don't have the devices for that, so I'm not going to do that. And also cleaning off the clean for this thing, as you've seen, that was basically all you do. It's very easy. Now you can't see the dirt on there, but Trust me, this thing is grey, not white anymore. And yeah, that's basically all. Still some dust in here. I'll take care of that later with some compressed air and everything will be fine.